Hi, friends. So, um, I just came back from the Rocky Mountains in Canada, and I was lucky enough to be taken by some Airbnb guests that were staying at the Airbnb that I am running at my mom's house. And one of them is studying anthropology and like environmental studies, I think. Um, and art has been on my mind a lot, and the last video I made about Kev Jumba has been on my mind a lot, and um, the value of art in general is something that I think is often taken for granted in a time like right now where entertainment is mass produced but art is underproduced and underfunded. And so I want to encourage people to actually make a human connection with artists. Don't just get a song and just listen to a song. Realize the actual immense value and the immense amount of time and effort and money and oh my gosh, I'm a ghost. One sec. And like, there we go. It's a little better. All the things that had to happen for that song to be made that you just bought, or that movie to be made that you just watched. I spent the last couple minutes on a phone call with a friend in a band called Whowho. And I'm going to tell the story about him because I think it's very relevant to how much artists actually care about what it is that they're doing. And when I'm talking about artists, I'm talking about people who are doing it regardless of money. Not meaning that they're not expecting to do it as a paid job, but artists that are actually doing it from a place of having a message and wanting to actually make a difference. It's not just about money. And unfortunately, because of how streaming is and all that, those artists usually get kind of swept under the rug. And so there's a ton of reasons why you shouldn't subscribe to streaming sites, and most people just don't care, and they will anyway. But especially when it comes to music, how much you pay for just the access to all that music, it's like, what do you actually want? Do you just want music as a background, or do you actually want music as an art form? I'm willing to pay and buy like vinyl and CDs, and you don't have to do that, but I'm just saying, like, the price of art isn't actually expensive. It's super cheap, and it's because people aren't willing to actually pay for good art. They would rather go to like a mega stadium just to get a picture with someone to say that they went and saw them live, but they wouldn't actually try to seek out and like contact the person and actually have like a real human conversation, not just like this idolization. They're all just people. So, with this artist from Whowho, June, I had listened to his music since I was in like middle school, actually, when there was just like a demo and hardly any stuff out. And because I wanted to like add people on Facebook who are in the music industry, um, not because I want to like stalk them necessarily, but because just like I wanted to have like human connection, but not not like a shallow one too. And I also wanted to respect their privacy, which I mean, adding them on Facebook, if they accept it, that's on them. Um, and so yeah, I didn't ever contact him because I was just trying to kind of see how he was and see the development of his art and whatnot. And then last year he was traveling in Europe, and when he was in Turkey, his wallet got stolen, And I have some friends in Turkey, and so I messaged him and I was like, "Hey, look, if you need any help, um, just let me know because I think I'll be able to help you out." And in the end, he didn't need my help. He got it all figured out. But um, but then he was planning to come to the US anyway, and I think maybe Vancouver. And then he ended up coming and staying here for 2 weeks. And I hosted him. And that was before I even did like Airbnb. Usually I host people for like 6 months or a year. And that was the only time in my life ever that I came home to a cooked dinner basically every day of the week. And I don't drive and I wasn't able to like take him around or anything, but he fixed some things around my house, like just DIY style, because I've been living in this apartment for a year. I've asked for things to get fixed. Nothing ever gets fixed. Um, and he did that for me. Still, when I take a shower, there's like these little chopsticks keeping the poles together because he like stuck them inside and put them together. And that seems really small, but when I think about the fact that when I was being abused, I would put on headphones, like not when I was, but like when there was rage and violence and stuff, and I would go hide in my room to avoid it. I would put on headphones and I would escape to a world where that wasn't happening. And before I even had this like friendship, I was able to have that connection, and those affirmative words meant so much to me in his music. The message that he was trying to relay in his music actually got through. And so when I then met him, it wasn't like this like starstruck like whoa, it was just like cool, you know? And now I'm going to bring you to my messy ass apartment. Thanks for not judging me. So, yeah. That was really cool. And after like while we just called cuz he knows like shit is hard in my life and stuff, and he's just like be strong, you know, and encouraging me, and those kind of things mean so much. And all I was able to do is buy his stuff on like Google Play because I don't know if there was actually CDs or if I could access them. But him coming here, staying for 2 weeks, basically serving me, and me not being able to like even get him a gig because of my lack of connection with Calgary, and my one friend with a restaurant where he would be able to play was actually dealing with some family matters, so nothing worked out in the end while he was here. And I felt kind of like guilty, you know, that I couldn't offer more. But that friendship and that connection and that security and that everything he created through his work is so much more valuable than we give credit as like consumers, I mean. And I have an artist cousin who is absolutely incredible but extremely humble to the point where like the marketing aspect of it is so hard, you know? Sometimes it feels like, what's the point? Like, nobody actually cares about arts and artists, and the Renaissance is like over, you know? But as mass media is taking over and everything that's coming out and mass produced and advertised and all that is pretty shallow, like, come on, Frozen? I'm sorry, but Frozen is super shallow, isn't it? Super, super shallow. And it just looks cool, it just looks interesting. And so many of the people on the radio and in the music industry now, it's all just about the shallow aspect, and like real artists attract real fans. I mean, people that actually care about them. But usually those people are also counterculture and living in a society that really doesn't respect or encourage conscious decisions. So it's a tricky thing. It really is. I'm gonna put the link down below to my friend in the band Whowho. And I do want to do more of these role model stuff. And I do want to make more professional videos. I just don't have the physical ability, the time, the energy, or money to do any of that right now. And I hope I can get there. But it takes people caring. And I'm so sick and tired of people saying that they care, but not doing anything. Those words are empty. So, not to leave this on a negative note, good music is really powerful, and it's not just a distraction, and it's not just a background track. So, invest in what you are consuming, whether that is music, whether that is food, whatever it is. Invest in finding out about it, invest in the company, knowing about it, communicating with them. This cold capitalism, which has no relation, is not healthy for anyone. The producer, the consumer, the workers. We need to be more conscious in all of our decisions. So, I'll leave it at that. Thank you for watching, and yeah, if you guys are here because of the whole Michael Jackson thing, this is totally on topic. I know I didn't really focus on that, but even someone as famous as Michael Jackson had a lot of fans that didn't actually care about him, and a lot of artists that even worked with him that didn't actually care about him in the end. There will always be opportunistic people, and it's not worth your time. It's not. Like, we have to protect the artists from those kind of people by telling them what their real worth is, and by actually valuing them and showing them that they're valuable and that their art is important. So be more involved in your local scene, and art is really important. It really, 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 really is, especially when you are in a demographic that is super struggling, and like, especially if you don't really got like family that's there. Music will always be there. Yeah, okay. Now I'll leave it at that. Have a good one.